Okay, right, English language, paper 1, question 2. This is your language analysis question. I'm just looking through them now, and there's lots of very similar mistakes. You need to make sure that when you are analysing your language within this, that you are focusing specifically on the impact of the words, the techniques, the methods that you have chosen to focus on. So you cannot just say that, for example, paralysed and frozen create a sense of fear and leave it at that, because it's not specifically analysing those two words. So if we look at the first bit, I sat up, paralysed, frozen in the bed. Okay, so instantly the writer has taken us into the way that Arthur Kipps is feeling there, and we're looking at those two adjectives, paralysed and frozen. Now, specific to those are what those two words mean, and clearly those two words mean that this man can't move. So we're thinking about what the writer is trying to suggest then. Clearly he's trying to suggest that instantly something is wrong, but also that this character feels trapped by his fear. Okay, so that is specific to the two words that we're focusing on there. He feels trapped by his fear through the use of those adjectives. If we get to the end of that line, we've got the idea of the prickling of my own skin. So the verb prickling there used. Now, some of you, again, analyse that by talking about prickling as being a verb that suggests a sense of fear. Again, not specific enough. Think about that image of prickling skin. It's you could look at that in two ways. You could look at it almost that the fear is causing him pain, it's so intense, or you could look at it in terms of it being a really strange, quite unusual image. But if you are going to talk about that, then you obviously need to say that this strange or unusual image reflects the strange and unusual nature of the house. Okay, so you're making sure that whatever you're focusing on within the text reflects something more widely about what's happening. He then goes on to describe it as a different kind of silence, all right? So if you're focusing on that one, that image of the different kind of silence, then you need to think specifically what it means. Now, again, that adds to the strange, unusual nature of this house, because he's trying to categorise silence there, isn't it? Well, silence is what it is no noise, but he's categorising it there. So again, by trying to categorise silence, it's a strange thing to do, and reflects again the strange nature of the house which he is in. That is obviously then also furthered through the adjectives ominous and dreadful, making sure that you're using your subject terminology, of course, in ominous and dreadful. But more specifically, ominous suggests that something bad is going to happen. So he's using those two adjectives to create a sense of foreboding, okay? So he's using the adjectives ominous and foreboding to create a sense of foreboding. You should also have noticed within this that he's trying to make links almost between the dog and himself. So we get the sense that the prickling of his skin reflects later on the dog's bristling of the dog. So he's trying to create a link between him and the dog to suggest that they're both feeling that same kind of fear there. Moreover, you want to focus on the repetition of the noun noise. So focusing on the fact that he keeps coming back to the noise, and that will also help with the structure question. Why is he focusing on the noise? What is the writer's intention in focusing on the noun noise throughout? Well, clearly that's to draw our attention in the same way that Arthur Kipps's attention is drawn only to the noise. So it emphasises the significance of the noise and emphasises that this fear is surrounding the noise. This use of repetition is also shown in the repetition of listening. Again, emphasising the fear that's surrounding that noise, and emphasising the fact that it is the noise that's creating this fear. So that's the technique that the writer's using there. In terms of sentence type, sentence forms, obviously it's made up of a lot of complex sentences, so you want to try and link that to what we said complex sentences and a mass of clauses in sentences links to. So it's either a complex idea, it's used to create a sense of fear and panic, it's used to build up tension, and obviously that works best, most effectively with what we're talking about. So the use of clauses, the repetition of clauses there, is used to reflect the build-up of tension in terms of Arthur Kipps' journey through the house. Okay, so biggest things to remember on this one: Identify the subject terminology used and make sure that your analysis of the words are specific only to the adjective, the noun, the metaphor, the simile, the method that you have chosen. If you make vague and abstract analysis, such as this helps to create fear or show excitement, the examiner cannot move you out of band 2 because you are not being specific enough. So the biggest thing to remember on this, identify the techniques and link it specifically to what the writer's effect or what the writer's intention was in listing or using that word form. Okay.